everyone. Welcome back. Big Time Auto Racing, episode 47. This is season 4, episode 1, I guess you'd call it. I'm Dylon Wilson, your co-host, here with my good friend and co-host Brandon Pierce. Brandon is slated to race this Saturday for the first race of the year in the Cars Tour down at Southern National. And we're here to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about the season preview itself, about the new schedule, about the early season cancellation already, what that could mean, what the future is there, and some of our favorites. Brandon, how have you been here the last little bit, buddy?
Man, been good. Me and you, or I guess you and then me officially tomorrow. We've joined the 30 club and celebrated that, and
I wouldn't
got
say
through
that.
got through deer season, and it's also decided to turn back ungodly cold. So I'm definitely ready to get back in a warm race car. That drivetrain and engine heat will be pretty nice, at least the way the weather is.
Yeah, that was something I was going to add in our show notes, was cold weather can go to hell. I'm sick of that. But yeah, so I just turned 30. You turned 30 tonight at, midnight, I guess, technically. Yeah. I don't know. You know what time of day you were born?
I think it was like sometime around lunch. So
there's probably something to that, you think.
Yeah.
Because I was born at like 2 a.m. And that's kind of when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Every night, for whatever reason, mentally. So I don't know if there's something to that or whatever. But yeah, so all that aside, we do have quite a bit to talk about tonight. Obviously, like I said, Southern National's coming up. But before we get into Southern National, there was supposed to be a race at Coastal Plains, and it got canceled. Brandon, do you have any insight on really what happened there? Or, I know they said they had some weather issues dealing with the upgrades that man might have been working on. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything officially. Obviously, this is mine and your podcast, so we get to kind of say whatever the hell we want. I don't fully believe it's all that. I'm not saying that didn't have anything to do with it. We all know the amount of snow that we all got in that area, or I guess the eastern part of the state. But I think there's probably a little more to it. So unfortunate. It was always cool to go down there, and me and you get to talk about the 9 million vape shops that are in Jacksonville, North Carolina. But yeah, so fun racetrack to drive too. So a little disappointed to see that, and then definitely bummed as well that, they made the announcement that we would just be a 14 race season instead of 15. So that was a little surprising, but I get it too at the same time of, already having all your deals in place and having a season or a schedule set when you start trying to move it around, and probably wasn't ideal to just throw another racetrack in there that quick. And then when you start, trying to move dates on top of everybody else, that gets complicated as well.
Yeah. I did make a note later in the episode to talk about if we were to reschedule that race, where would we have put it? So we'll move back to that later. But so yeah, New River, or Coastal Plains, I guess it's called now, it was canceled. Like Brandon said, no reschedule there. That tightens the season up. So the races are more important already, just as we go. So that's already a difference in the season. You'll see some, that made Southern National mean more already. So, like I said, Southern National sets the tone, and we're moving right into Kinley. You guys have not. So, would you race there last year?
Nope,
not there last year. But
yeah.
We did go the year before.
Correct.
And the year before that. So it was just a 1 year break.
Yep.
You enjoyed it last year?
Year before last.
Last time you went there.
We were running good, and I think Lapsovich and somebody got together down there in 1 and 2, and it kind of.
Oh, I remember that.
Caused a pretty big accordion, and we got ran over from behind. So, we were like right inside the top 10 when that happened. I think we ended up like 16th or something. Basically tore the whole back half of the car off. So
that's when Lapsovich and Grady got together.
Yeah.
And a week later, we had him on the podcast, I think, and we we were like, that's when we thought he was going to go get him.
Yeah. So yeah, man. But obviously that place is kind of sentimental to me. It's where I've got a Cars Tour victory at, and I've always enjoyed it, and I've always had a decent amount of success there. The first time I ever went there was 2018 for the Thanksgiving Classic, and ended up sixth. So, for whatever reason, it's always kind of fit my driving style, and I think it's pretty cool that it's kind of like Bristol, so to speak, with all that banking, but it's wore out. So it's definitely a driver's track and strategy involved, and always seems to play into an exciting finish every year.
They've yet to really, they added that new strip of asphalt up there at the fence. Like, that's yet to be really utilized, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's flirted with it unless it was for wreck avoidance.
Yeah. So they also have speed weeks going on right there afterwards, and I would say that qualifies as big time auto racing too. They've got a pretty big deal going on. You actually considered going there at one point, but probably thought better of it to maybe conserve your stuff for the rest of the Cars Tour season. But I know it's they've got a. So what is it? What's the purse that they've got going on there?
I may be misspeaking on this. There may be like a bigger one, but everything I've seen so far, I think late models pay $5,000 to win for all the races.
Yeah,
so,
like each night.
Kudos.
So
so kudos to Michael and Mason and everybody involved on that deal to put that together. I know they had a pretty good turnout last year. I don't know the exact amount of cars, but I feel pretty confident on this. It was somewhere around 16 to 20, and had some good racing. So I've already seen that Matt McCall, former late model stock racer, and then turned crew chief, and now I believe he's over at Spire. I forget exactly what his title is, but saw he was turning some laps and is planning on racing. So I know a lot of people have been excited to see that, and I've heard of some other heavy hitters.
I'm one of those guys
down there
that's excited for that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's always a threat when he races.
Old body
anything,
bandit
but,
too.
Yeah, that
Love
thing. That thing will be set on kill. So I definitely wouldn't be shocked to see him have some success and maybe play. Not spoiler alert, probably in mine and your mind, but to maybe some other people. So
Matt McCall should undoubtedly make some racing T-shirts. I think he would have a litany of people, of late model fans, buy Matt McCall shirts. So I don't know if he has them. I know he always, he used to have that cool logo and everything. So I don't for a shock logo and all that. So guy is one of. I was thinking about him. I kind of did a little deep dive on him after the. After I seen that he was practicing there, after Corey Latham posted that, or whoever did, I don't know if he might have shared it or whatever. Anyways, I seen that and immediately did some research and just started thinking if he wouldn't have ended up going to NASCAR and crew chief in there and stuff, and maybe he would have stayed in the short track ranks and just maybe built up the shock business and stayed in that and kept racing. That's a guy who probably changes the history tremendously in the Cars Tour of who all the champions have been. I'm not saying the guy's gonna win every race ever, but that guy, I feel like he would have been in the tour a lot, and good touch point seeing him back for sure. So, and speaking on that, Lee, your former car owner, he's back racing a lot this year. That's good for late model stock racing. I think we can all agree on that. He's running quite a bit of the tour races too, right?
I think he had said just with the way that schedule is, and obviously he's got Carson Brown running for him full time. I saw Chase Burgess sign with him as well. I think he's running speed weeks for him, and then a pretty heavy slate at Sobo and Tri-County and Hickory. So I know Lee had said he was going to run Florence, obviously, for the Icebreaker, and then I think he had the first South Boston race and the first two tour races. So obviously with Coastal Plains getting canceled, I'm not sure if he'll move it, to something else. But last I heard, he will be there this weekend. So obviously he'll be a big threat, and it'll be cool to get back out there with him on the other side of it now and go to battle with him.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like I said, I think it's good for the sport, 'cause that's a guy that probably another Matt McCall that had to obviously do for the better of his business and life and financials and be able to support a family first, and now he's kind of back racing, and so it's just going to be interesting. I mean, I'm not, obviously we all seen it at Martinsville and what happened, how close he almost won the race there, and ran good at Florence and stuff too. So obviously going to be an exciting year for all that. But that's enough with all the other people that's moved around. Brandon, you made a big move this off season. I'll let you kind of take it away there, man. It was a pretty quick deal, but it came together fast. But we got it wrapped up now. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, so it actually kind of all came together over me and Dylon just chit-chatting at the Car Store Championship night at North Wilkesboro. Was really when everything kind of started getting some fuel to it. If you'd asked me this time, or if you'd asked me in probably September last year if I was going to be racing, I mean, I definitely was going to probably race, but I don't know if I'd have been racing full time. So fast forward to now, and for those of you that don't know, I've signed to drive at Kevin Powell Speed Motorsports in Winston-Salem. So, obviously, if you don't know that he had a race team, I'm sure you know the name, but obviously they're a very successful and high tier modified team with Brandon Ward, and have had tons of success over there. And they ran a couple late model races last year, and they were ready though to make the jump to go into full time car store racing and big events, and wanted a veteran driver, and that's where my name came into play. So the phone rang, and I went and met with them, and like you said, everything moved pretty quickly, but very blessed for the opportunity. It's probably the first situation I've been in like this. Obviously it's close to home, so I'm able to be a lot more involved because of my job. With the shop only being 20 minutes away, I can be more hands-on and be involved, and they're wanting me to be there for the future, so this isn't a short-term thing. And I've had a lot of say in what we're doing over there, and really proud of all the hard work and everything that's went into the off season. And as Dylon touched on, he got her wrapped up here about a week and a half ago, and we'll be debuting that later this week, and got some new partners on board, and really grateful for them as well, and excited to get them to the racetrack with a new scheme and with new partners.
This episode comes out Thursday, so it's probably, you can probably say it, but will you be posting it by then or no?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of waiting on, you know how all that works, waiting on all the
We can cut this out if not,
and,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can probably wait just because I think they'll want to let you do what you're...
Make it one big deal.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah. So obviously going to a new team, they have a lot of experience in mostly other divisions, but going to a newer team as far as Cars Tour late model stock goes, and being a veteran and stuff, what's your expectations and all that? Like, starting like you think you're going to start the year off hot? You think you got some building time? What you're thinking?
Yeah, I think, man, and you can touch on this. It's when you're a veteran driver, and when you have experience, and then when you have a lot of experienced people as well, I think it kind of just all comes down to a little bit of luck, and just seeing how everything plays out. I don't think it's as difficult as it used to be as far as making those kinds of changes and being able to adapt. It's definitely not easy. It's car store racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best of the best. So I'm not saying it's easy by any means, or that we expect to go out and win right off the bat, but I definitely think we can be competitive. And the biggest thing for us is they don't have a lot of points, being with the races that they ran last year, and obviously the way the car store rules work, they go off of previous owner points for the first 3 races. So we know we need to go and have speed and qualify on time, but I'm fully confident in that. So really, if we can get past those hurdles the first 3 races of the year, and start putting ourselves in good position, I fully expect us to be able to go out and contend and have a shot. And a lot of experience over there, some really smart people. Really happy with the group that we've assembled and put together, and I'm fully confident in myself and obviously their ability. And we're just going to take it week by week, but we fully plan on and intend to be a force to be reckoned with, and be able to go out and contend for wins and see where we stack up at the end of the year.
Yeah, so obviously got a bit of a challenge to see where you're at, right? But you could go surprise the hell out of yourself and surprise, so there's always that's out there. So I did find myself when I was kind of in which my situation was obviously different. Like, we're kind of building a team from the ground up, but I found myself being too cautious probably a lot of the times, just because I was more so thinking like, man, if I keep this thing in one piece, we're gonna, we'll be on to the next, which in retrospect was probably the thing to do. But if I would have went out there and just done some dumb shit every now and then, it probably would have worked out more times than not. Like you know what I mean? Right. Like there was times where I was like, yeah, I'll let this one go. You know, and those 3 or 4 spots that it cost me, would have built a lot of momentum. That was the difference in a top 10. You know, those 13th and 14th place finishes that just like piss you off, right? You're like, God damn, I know I'm better than that. And not that, you know, you can only expect to do so good, but you'll have those weeks where you're just off and you don't run 18th, 19th, but in that tour. But it's hard to wrap your head around that. And then also, I think that it, like, doing that made me just get, like, kind of level-headed with that, and I was okay with, yeah, it's all right to finish 15th. And hell no, sometimes you just got to say, fuck it. I know it's a new car, but damn, no knock the nose off of it, that bitch every now and then. Damn, they'll fix it. Those guys damn race at Bowman Gray all the time. They'll fix that shit. Go race the hell out of it. Would be, not that I'm one to give you any advice, but if I were to speak any this way over the airwaves, that'd be the one that I'd give you. Just go send that bitch.
Yeah.
Because you just I got real complacent trying to build a team up and do the right thing and, you know, not cause problems and whatever. But hell, you mean it's there's good ways. Obviously, you can only tell that to a veteran of the sport. You can't tell a young guy that. They'd go in there and destroy the car immediately, you know. But you can take calculated risk a little more than you probably would think so, I guess, with a whole new deal. Because you might just end up with a whole bunch of momentum because of it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
As far as my plans go, I guess I'll touch on that. Like, I don't really have a full listed out schedule, but I do plan on running a handful of tour races again this year. So obviously all my honey hole tracks, I guess, like the Wake Counties, Hickory, Wilkesboro. But I do want to go to Nashville and Newport. So that is my tentative, if I make it work, schedule. That's the 5 on the list for me. But obviously doing a lot of stuff with WRC and MKM. You know, and then obviously one wraps and forward drive and all that. So I got a lot going on, so it's hard to really commit to driving a lot. And then also it's you know, I have a kid too, so it's a bit of a circus that I have going on here. But the circus is fun, and we are chugging along. Sometimes I eat shit in the middle of this circus, almost daily, but we are still digging. But with that being said, I can guarantee at least, you know, a few of them, right? But I don't know if I'll hit that 5-6 mark like I'd like to. But nonetheless, I do need to knock the rust off before I go race a tour race and go run some local stuff. I got my ass kicked running the fall brawl last year and figured, God dang, I might need to hang it up. But then I watched back the footage and I'm like, I gotta get my shit together and go race again. I just gotta race more. So I am going to try to go run like a local race before I do these races. Wake County presents a bit of an issue because it's so early in the season. There's no Wake County races before that. So I don't know what we're going to really do there. So just being kind of transparent. I've always been secretive with it, but that's really what's going on. I don't know if I'll be able to make it all work in time because hopefully I'm so busy. We're doing so many videos and wraps. I ain't got time to race. But there may be some opportunities where I can kind of make it both work. And definitely Wilkesboro, Wake County, and honestly either Newport or Nashville is pretty high on my list above Hickory. And just because I want to go somewhere new, I obviously like the state of Tennessee. So
right,
I have the blaring helmet behind me. I guess I'll have to bust that older rope now. Better not do that. Might just have to I don't know if it's approved, but we'll rewrap the other one, I guess. But anyways, that's my plan. So nothing too drastic. Just living life as a 30-year-old and trying to build up for the next 10 years. So yeah, any other big movers in the series that you can name off the top of your head, or everybody stayed put for the most part? I know Donovan Strauss, he moved over somewheres, didn't he?
Yeah, he went back to AK.
Okay.
So, where he was before. Really, that's kind of the only one that, obviously Connor Jones.
Oh, yeah, Connor's at Carroll in the 44. Who, I feel like there's a couple rookies that I'm not naming.
Well, obviously they announced that Caden, at least I think I'm right on this. If not, then my bad. But I'm pretty sure he's running the junior car full time on the tour.
Yeah.
Caden Quapples. So he's obviously ran races over there, but this will be his first.
And then Keelan will probably start racing full time in late models.
I don't think he'll be at Southern National, or I think something there with age, until he turns. But I know it's at
or something.
Yeah, but so I think he'll miss a few, but once he turns it, I fully expect him to be at all the rest of them.
Is there a full timer in the Harvick camp?
I don't think so, because from last I had heard, I think it was going to be Keelan and then Landon Lewis when it didn't conflict with his truck schedule.
Right. Okay. So yeah, last year's championship team, not a championship contender this year. So that's right off the bat. That's a story for sure. So that probably flips the odds back into the junior motorsports favor, I would say. Just looking on down the list here, some of these championship predictions that I want to talk about. If Caden's running full time, that's obviously going to be a pretty big threat. What about Connor Hall? Is he racing in any?
I haven't heard anything, man. I was actually fixing to touch on that, so I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, I haven't heard. So, as we're putting this episode out, maybe other people have some news, or maybe we'll see some in the coming days. But I haven't seen anything that has stated that he would be running, full time or anything like that. But it definitely wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, absolute crying damn shame if not. I mean, that's a guy that should be running in the tour. If it's he's off doing something else, building his career up. It's obvious, I'm doing kind of the same thing, except for he wins about every race he runs, so it's a little bit bigger of a story. So I do think it'd be a damn shame if he didn't run a lot this year in the tour. I mean, I know he's probably, like I said, running some trucks or ARCA or something, or at least trying to. I know he's working with Nice there towards the end of the year last year. So, hopefully I do feel like I heard rumblings at one point of a couple of Xfinity teams trying to get into the tour with some full, doesn't Dodge have a deal or Ram, whatever?
I've heard some rumblings of that. I just haven't heard anything.
So I don't know if that's a colleague deal or if it's just Ram and they're hiring somebody, or if it's RNS doing it, because they did the late models in the show. So I don't know. Honestly, I have not looked at. I may be totally just making up shit right now. So don't take my word on it, but it would make sense. Because I have heard a lot of rumblings of Ram trying to get in the tour.
Right.
With a team or themselves or however. I mean, they literally made noses, so obviously they're trying to have a presence in the short track world. So,
right.
So yeah, that's out there. Guys that were fast last year that had some crashes, like Parker Eatman. That's a guy that you could say would probably be. And is Cade Brown not running full? He's not running full time, I don't believe, is he?
I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard about Cade. I know Eatman is, but
a new guy, Sam Butler. He's running he's a new guy this year, a rookie, I guess. I don't know if I guess he's eligible to be a rookie. Sam Butler, he is racing for RNS, so I guess that wouldn't be a Ram deal or whatever, like I just said. They're doing so. Anyways, yeah, there's and I do feel like I'm missing a couple more rookies. So sorry about that, but anyways. Brandon, do you have any? Am I missing any championship favorites? Well, Ronnie Bassett, he's probably doing some good runs.
Bassett's back, and then obviously kind of like we previously touched on. I mean, obviously he's not by any means what I would consider to be a rookie, although based off the requirements it would be for rookie of the year. But Carson Brown being with Pulliam, so obviously I fully expect I'll probably be a threat. So those are really the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure we're missing some, but
yeah, no doubt. There's obviously plenty of guys that I was just kind of thinking of, like the top teams that were, right there in the hunt last year. With KHI not being a deal anymore, it kind of relegates the field. Whatever
one that I did forget that just came back to my mind as far as off-season moves is Chase Burrow to Hettinger.
Yeah.
So
Burrow to Hettinger. So that'll obviously be a bit of a change for him. So. Because who was he with last year? His own deal, or?
Well, it was it was kind of like his own deal / Sellers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So a pretty the teams will somewhat be the same as far as the championship favorites, I think. I mean, obviously Landon made a run last year too, so he's obviously looking for some redemption himself. He ended up third or fourth in points?
I think it was fourth.
Fourth. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously trying to rectify some of those races that put him outside of the hunt there towards the end. But he was trying to make a charge there with 4 or 5 races to go and just fell a little bit short. So obviously there's some guys that we're not naming that could definitely be a threat. Like we said earlier, Andrew Grady, he's been doing this for a while, but he's not running the Tour full time anymore, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think he's running Sobo full time. So
yeah, I was just thinking of guys but good for Andrew. Shout out Andrew. I know he's not running the Tour, but one of our only guests in this podcast history. All right, so worn out track, same tire compound as he was on. Well, no, the tire compound will be different than a couple years ago. He's still on the ST.
Yeah, this will be the first time we've went with the 45 star.
Yeah, I think it was still the ST deal a couple years ago. So yeah, it'd be a little bit different deal there. What are you expecting a heavy tire saving rate? Is it 150 or 125?
125.
And $10,000 to win. I did see that. That's cool.
Yep. I mean, to each their own, right? Like some people think I'm crazy, but I think it still pays off. Track position is going to be key. But I can tell you this much, and if anybody thinks differently or does differently, that's fine. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just not sure it can be done legally. But you're not going to be able to go, all out for 125 laps. So I don't know if you'll see the fall all the way back to like almost go a lap down type deal. But I do think you'll see the whole, coming and going and some guys kind of, having a number in mind and, playing the cat and mouse game. I don't think that'll change. And, I think it's just a matter of how far back do you go, what pace do you run to have enough to make a charge at the end and either, not have to use too much to get back up there or have fell too far back to get back up there. So
I was going to look up a bunch of track facts, but too bad our loyal companion and love of our life, Cars Tour Digest, is gone.
Yeah, that was your one-stop shop for everything you needed. So I hated to see the domain run out on that.
Man, I finally got a top 10 and that son of a bitch shut down. That's all I wanted was to just get one on there. I got it, by God. But yeah, it's gone. So we couldn't really look up all the sweet track history and track facts from there. But I do know Brandon's won there before, so you should be pretty confident going there, even with a new team. I do think it'll be some good racing. Obviously, everybody will be pretty antsy. Or you think they're going to be over a full field there qualifying?
I think so from the rumblings I've heard. I mean, obviously we won't know until tomorrow morning, as in Tuesday morning. But everything I've heard, I think there'll be some cars going home.
Yeah, we're recording on Monday night, so we had some. The entry list will come out Tuesday. Typically, we're going to record on Tuesdays, so we'll know the entry list and stuff. But anyways, yeah. Southern National, the racing starts, is the gates at 3 or the racing at 3?
Pro race starts at 3 o'clock and the late models will follow.
Yeah, pro racing at 3 o'clock. Probably have a pretty good field for that too.
I would think so.
Yeah, usually do for at least definitely the first one. Live on Flow once again. 3 o'clock pros, late models will follow. Obviously, both good shows. It'll be probably pretty cold, won't it?
Well, if it doesn't change, I mean, it looks manageable. I think it's supposed to be like low 60s, high 50s. So really and truly, it'll all depend on this wonderful thing that showed up the last 5 days and this howling wind.
Yeah, well, as long as it ain't windy, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 65 and sunny here, so that should translate to something good at the coast. We'll just cross our fingers. At least on Saturday, it is 65 and sunny, so we love that. The time changes next week, or a week and a half, I think.
Yep.
Something like that, so that's great news. That's good for me. That means it's almost time to mow, and that's the time of year when I come out of my winter depressive state. And I'm back to being a happy person again. So can't wait to start mowing. Sick of this cold shit. I can't say that enough. I despise this cold shit almost more than I despise the bathrooms at some of these racetracks that we go to. And I said almost. Just when it gets to summertime, we walk in those bathrooms and all them tired guys who just ate 3 chili dogs. Whew. It's hot and steamy in here. Hope y'all ain't eating on this drive that you're taking or whatever right now. But yeah, it's coming. And right now, I would take that. I would take 30 minutes in a hot racetrack shit sauna over this cold ass weather.
Yeah.
For 2 minutes. That's my piece on cold weather. Thanks for tuning in there. The future of BTAR is once the weather thaws out and we lose this freezing attitude. I do obviously every Thursday pre and post race episodes. So when there's a race coming up like this weekend, it's a perfect example. We got an episode dropping Thursday, which is today that you're listening to this. There will also be an episode next Thursday. When's the next Cars Tour race after that, Brandon?
A month from Saturday to the date. We will run Wake County on the 28th.
So that following date, there will be an episode that previous Thursday and the Thursday after. And that'll be all the races all year. So that's, 28 episodes? And then we'll probably throw a few more in the big gaps there. So I wouldn't put like a definite number. Like we're for sure going to have this many, but yeah, definitely. So be watching out for us every time there's a Cars Tour race. We'll keep you tuned in. And we'll follow around some of the bigger races throughout the year, like when there's big gaps in the tour races, and we got Martinsville coming up, and there's actually there's some big stuff going on in the Hickory area and stuff like that this year. Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely we'll keep y'all in touch on those kind of things a little more. Obviously, we'll keep up with the track ratings and every time we go to a track, we'll talk about the facilities, the racetrack itself, what kind of fun we had, how the shitters were. I think, and we'll obviously, definitely have some more guests this year. I would like to get a handful of guests on, especially in the, the recap episodes to talk about, how the race went, or especially when there's some drama. That's really what I'm looking for. Some guys that's got some beef to, might just have like a Brady Bunch screen. We'll all just get in here and hash it out every now and then when you guys piss each other off. Yeah, and also keep us more into, the comments. We do read them, obviously, on YouTube, and I try to end up answering the questions. I know a few of you guys have kept up with us on there, and we'll, anytime you want to know something, any questions or content that you would like to be added, let us know, because we can't read your mind. Or can we? And we're going to try to be consistent with it. I mean, that obviously goes with all that. I mean, I kind of have bullet points here. No, it's probably not the most fun thing to listen to. But, yeah, we'll try to be more consistent all year with getting these episodes out, which I felt like we were pretty good last year with everything. But, obviously doing the preview and the post-race deal I think is pretty important, and shining a light on each track. And do we go anywhere twice?
No.
Yeah, so we don't go anywhere twice this year. That's badass. There'll be an episode for every track, and we'll have a final. So the scoring system will go a lot cooler this year. It'll be we'll have it mapped out a little better, and a ranking system and all that. And see which track wins. Maybe even help you.
Also means all you tracks better be right, because we're rating you once.
God dang it! You get one chance. So yeah, season's starting on Saturday at Southern National. It's about a 3-hour trip from the Charlotte area, I'd say.
Yeah, it takes me about 2 hours, 10 minutes. So yeah.
So for those, I know everybody listens from all over, but just to give you a general idea of where it's out on towards the coast. Sort of, not really. It's that
far
direction.
Side of Raleigh.
Yeah. Far side of Raleigh. It's like in that tweener area. Damn cornfields,
Smithfield,
stuff everywhere.
Lucama. Sorry for all you locals. I'm probably saying it wrong, but
I don't know how you say that. Is it Lucama?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Lucama or Lucama, but
what was it? Southern National that we was
Kinley.
driving around. all those back roads and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some crazy houses and stuff out of nowhere. Or where was that at? Is that
There's
where
some
that
nice,
was?
there's some nice houses out, it's farmland and stuff, a lot of
Yeah.
farmers and different stuff. So yeah, there's definitely some nice houses out there.
Well, I mean, it's like they're random. Like they're just in the randomest places. Like all of a sudden yeah. But yeah, cool area. Not a lot to do around there, not gonna lie, near the racetrack, but I mean you can find a highway pretty close by and go find a town to race some hell in. Like Smithfield was fun.
Yeah.
They got plenty to do. Big old shopping area and stuff. But yeah, I'd say if you have an RV or a camper, it's a good track to bring that to. You can just hang out at the track and go race like hell and beat it. Which the race starting at 3 probably changes people's plans a little bit for this one. But yeah, we'll try to keep you guys updated on everything all season. I know there's probably some things we missed tonight, but we can probably wrap it up. What do you think, B?
Yeah.
Yeah, so over the next few months, keep up with us. We'll obviously have plenty of episodes coming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow the podcast on however you're listening to this. Give us a rating; it helps a lot. I do think the next time you'll see us will be next Thursday. This is Thursday now, but next Thursday we'll have a recap episode. We'll get used to this now. It's the first one back of the year, so we're a little out of whack.
We wanted to let all y'all know that we're back.
We're back.
Everybody's been asking, so
yeah, we weren't gonna wait till a post race deal. I wanted to go ahead and get one out. Our plans kind of got adverted because of the whole New River thing, but yeah, we'll be with y'all all season. Go kick some ass this weekend, Brandon. We'll be pulling for you. Hopefully they put on a good race and everybody tunes in on the flow machine. Don't work too hard this week. We'll see you next time on Big Time Auto Racing.